and welcome back to the most amazing channel on the internet. I'm your host Rebecca Felgate, and today we're talking about the top 10 scary things found in the snow. Now, I don't know about where you guys live right now, but it is the grim end of winter here in Toronto. I say end, I really hope so, but last year it went on till April and I am so done with the winter. My hands are dry, my face is dry, I'm pale, please bring me the sun. I think we can all tell what my favourite season is, but why don't you guys let me know what your favourite season of the year is in the comments section down below. Why not include a few seasonal emojis too? Also, while you're down there, why don't you like this video, share it with a friend, and check out the links in our description box to our various Instagrams. Also, do stick around to the end of the video where I'm going to be reading out comments from a previous one. So, scary things found in the snow. It could be from a hiker out for a winter walk, or melting snow revealing what was once hidden under the ice, oddly preserved. Let's start off strong. At number 10, we have anthrax. Oh, what could actually be scarier than ancient diseases, including spy murder poison of choice, anthrax? In 2016, 250,000 reindeer were culled when an ancient strain of anthrax was unleashed in Siberia. It seems with global warming, ancient viruses that have laid dormant under ice for thousands of years are being unleashed again, and we have no modern cures. While we know modern day anthrax, ancient strains are pretty different. One boy living in the Siberian tundra actually died after contracting anthrax. Now, the main worry is that further permafrost will melt across the world, not just Russia, unleashing, I quote, a Pandora's box of disease. Some scientists are calling the hidden sicknesses zombie diseases, as they're back from the dead with an absolute vengeance. Crikey. Coming in at number 9, we have footprints. This is horrifying. Get ready to hear about the Hinterkaifeck murders and the mysterious footprints left in the snow. In March 1922, 5 members of a family and their maid were murdered in Bavaria. The case is still very much an unsolved mystery today. Now, the family were odd, that's for sure, and there were rumours of incest between the father and the daughter. Nonetheless, the eldest daughter, Victoria, discovered footprints in the snow leading from the woodlands surrounding the house right on up to their property. That's right, the footprints were right on up in their home, but there were none walking back. Really weird. Now, the family heard footsteps in the attic as if someone may have broken in, but when they searched, nobody was found. The next anyone knew, the entire family were found dead, including Victoria's children, all hacked up with a mattock. All the police had to go on were the mysterious tracks in the snow, but again, there weren't any leading away from the home, meaning the killer must still have been inside the property, but they were never found. Some speculated that they were killed by a ghost because 6 months prior, the family's former maid had fled, claiming the farm was haunted. Others said Victoria's husband, who had gone to war, returned to discover her with children that could not have been his. Now, he was thought to have died in World War I, but perhaps he didn't. If the killer did flee, then they might have had to backtrack in their steps and back away slowly and precisely, but how likely is that? Coming into number 8, we have 200 tons of trash. Spring, a beautiful time of year where the ice finally thaws and you can reclaim the streets again. Let me just explain to those of you who don't live in places with super cold winters. So in Canada and the northern United States, places like Iceland, Scandinavia, and I guess the more northern parts of Europe, the snowfall can be so heavy and intense that it stays all winter in fields, forests, and also there are snow piles and snowy banks in the street. I haven't seen my front garden in actually a month. It's getting kind of hilarious to try and climb over snowbanks to cross the street. The thing is though, it kind of makes things dirty and hard to clean and you don't know what's under there. Trash gets blown places, and then the more the snow falls, it buries it and you don't see it for a long time. So anyway, come spring in Boston, the city discovered 200 tons of trash as the ice melted away. Gross. In the centre of Portland, as another example, 300,000 cigarette butts were found in the ice, and of course there have been grimmer discoveries like soiled underwear and used condoms. Blech. Coming into number 7, we have an alien. It seems in October 2017, a man discovered what appeared to be a dead alien buried in the snow. The extraterrestrial hunter filmed the incident and sold the footage to a Russian TV channel where it received national news coverage. Luckily for us, it was uploaded to YouTube and our friends at Inform Overload did a news story on it. Let's watch a quick clip.
Video shows a disfigured corpse of an alien with big black eyes, an open mouth, and it's missing an arm and a leg. The corpse is in a pile of snow and seems to have been there for quite some time.
Also, before we talk about the alien, can we just talk about my friend Charlotte Dobre in this video? She is wearing an alien shirt for the occasion and I love it. Isn't that cute? I love her alien shirt. Good on you, Charlotte. Anyway, the alien looks like it has been through the wars a bit. It's missing an arm and a leg. It also looks, I mean, I guess it's pretty dead, isn't it? The video was shot in Siberia, but later was accused of being a hoax. What do you guys think? I think I'm gonna go with prank or hoax. Coming into number 6, we have dead goats. In Cornwall, Connecticut in 2015, dozens of dead dumped goats were found in the snow as it melted and exposed their grave. After the bodies were exposed at the Butterfield farm, the Department of Agriculture actually went to investigate. There, they found over 70 animal carcasses that were in various states of decay. Although, of course, the cold climes had slowed their decomposure. What a grisly discovery, seriously. Luckily, the remaining animals on the property were rehomed. Okay, next up, this story does have a much happier ending, so I'm popping it in the middle of the list to lift your spirits. We have a frozen cat at number 5. So unlike a lot of things found in this list, this cat was not actually dead. It almost was, but luckily, like I said, this story does have a happy ending. Imagine finding this small, abominable snow monster flexing its claws and mewing in the snow. This ball of fluff and ice was found buried in the snow in Kalispell, Montana. Temperatures there were -8 degrees Celsius. Now this literally actually happened the other day. It was the first week of February 2019. Poor kitty. Luckily vets were able to save the fluff ball. Coincidentally it was named Fluffy. They defrosted her before she contracted hypothermia, so she was saved. I love her before and after shots, bless her. It seems that she actually fell foul of falling in a load of snow while she was out and about, but I'm glad that she was saved. Hurrah for Fluffy. Alright, back to the scary stuff. Coming into number 4, we have Neolithic weapons. I think this is actually a really cool discovery, although I suppose if you think about it, these were weapons intended to kill people. In 2013, 6,000-year-old ancient artifacts were discovered in the melting snow of the Norwegian mountains. Now these included arrowheads and snow fragments. Now amazingly it seems that the lost arrows were likely arrows that had been fired. Martin Callahan of the Norwegian University of Science and Technology said, when people lost their arrows, they lost them in the snow patches. I guess they never struck the intended, but they are the 6,000-year-old evidence that shots were indeed fired. Coming into number 3, we have a blood fountain. Ugh, this is grisly. Snow is pretty bright white, right? Of course it is. Blood? Well, that's definitely very bright red. Explorer Griffith Taylor got a macabre-looking shock when he discovered blood gushing from the later named Taylor Falls. He was exploring Antarctica in 1911 when he saw this. While the site is absolutely grim and apocalyptic looking, it seems that what appears to be gushing blood is actually an iron oxide tainted flow of salt water. The iron gives the water its bright red colour. Blood obviously is filled with iron. Still though, seeing that in the snow from far off and up close, it looks like a giant has been murdered or the earth is crying blood. Coming in at number 2, we have the blood gems. Imagine going for a snowy hike in the French Alps and coming across massive chunks of treasure. A French climber found over $250,000 worth of jewels, emeralds, sapphires, rubies. They were in a metal box poking out of the snow. It seems that the hiker did what many wouldn't and reported the findings to the French authorities, as they suspected the haul had a worrying story behind it. It turns out they were right. It seems that the precious stones were lost in the Alps during either one of the 2 catastrophic plane crashes that had happened in that area. One happened in 1950 and the other in 1966, so either way, the gems had been there for a long time. It's likely that the jewels came from the later flight from Air India's flight from Bombay to New York, which crashed into the mountain at 12,000 feet. Now this killed 117 people. Recovery efforts were made to find the bodies and even the jewels, but much of the cargo and many of the remains were never discovered. They still lay buried underneath the snow. Finally, coming into number 1, we have the Dolomites victims. In Italy during World War I, the northern part of the country made up the Italian front. Now sadly on Friday, December the 13th, 1916, yes, Friday the 13th, a natural disaster killed thousands of soldiers. Dubbed White Friday, an avalanche struck Mount Marmolada and other areas of the Dolomites, and in the aftermath 10,000 soldiers from collective sides were killed. Now this is the most deaths caused by snow from an avalanche in history. While some bodies were recovered, thousands were lost in the snow, until recently. Melting ice has been uncovering 100-year-old preserved corpses from that fateful day. It's like the battle has just emerged afresh from the past. So that was the top 10 scary things found in the snow. Which do you think was the scariest? Also, do let me know if you prefer hot or cold. What's your favourite season? Show me in emojis. I love it. So guys, that is all I have time for today. I will read out more comments in a future video, so do keep leaving them. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up on this one, share it with a friend, and stay subscribed to Most Amazing Top 10. I'm your host, Rebecca Felgate, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!